Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. How is everybody doing today? I want to be quick today because I know that you don't want me tonight because it's Champions League football, Inter against Atletico Madrid, Dortmund against PSV Eindhoven. And I know that I might be boring in such an entertaining evening, but don't forget that we have a very important game tomorrow in a sense that let's not overestimate tomorrow's game and maybe consider the fact that we are already off to the quarterfinals, because that is not the case. Yes, we did a very good job last week at home against Brighton, but the job isn't done, and football is unpredictable. It's two legs for one reason. So I expect a feisty Brighton. The team has landed in Brighton a few hours ago. So De Rossi did release his press conference a few minutes ago. In fact, it ended. So yeah, bring it on. We're gonna go through it today. Now, as always, new thumbnail style and also new mic, new sound. Eric in the chat. I need everybody here to spam in the live chat. Eric is a legend, because this guy, me and him today, we spent hours trying to figure this audio system, why it wasn't working, and we're back here with a better quality and also a better style on thumbnails. So yeah, bring it on. I mean, again, I don't want to be quick. It's Champions League tonight. I understand if you don't want to hear me, if you don't want to hear my voice tonight, it's understandable, my friends. So let's get into this. Like target, new audio, massive game tomorrow, new style of thumbnails, 100 likes. Of course we can do it. For Eric, do it for Eric. Do it for Eric the GOAT. Eric is a legend in the live chat, and smash 100 likes for him. A lot of the things that you see behind the scenes, I want to take a few seconds to just acknowledge that what you see, yes, I'm a big part of what you see, but what you see on Instagram, the Roma Theory TV Instagram page, solving these technical problems, Eric deserves a massive, massive, massive shout out. So dude, it's not only me. Eric deserves some credit as well. But let's get into this. Oh, real quick, it was supposed to be Ndika who was going to take the press conference with De Rossi, but it ended up being Bove for a very simple reason, not because of illnesses, not because of injury, but for a pure religious and humane reason. Ndika is obviously celebrating Ramadan, and the press conference was during the time where he asked De Rossi if he could skip it, because it's a time where that people who follow Ramadan devote to prayers. So shout out to everybody who is celebrating Ramadan. I hope it's going well. So Bove did substitute Ndika in this press conference next to De Rossi. And that's exactly where I want to start. I want to start with a general comment. Bove got asked a question, which I understand the praise around this question. I understand it. I understand if you're a journalist, you've got Bove and De Rossi in front of you. After years and years of Bove being named the new DDR, it was undoubtedly going to happen. Somebody asked the question, can you, directed to Bove, be the new De Rossi of Roma? And I'm gonna take a few minutes to answer to this, not because I want to go against the journalist who asked this, but because asking this question to somebody who is 21 years old is utter bullshit. I mean, it is utter bullshit. Asking a 21-year-old, will you become effectively what you're asking him, a club legend of this club? At 21 years old, you're putting in the pressure of turning into the new De Rossi. That, in my opinion, is what we need to avoid to get the best out of these young players. Stop hyping them up. Stop comparing them with world-class players. And most of all, loyal players. Nowadays, loyalty in football, it's nowhere to be found. And I might be wrong. Bove might become the new Totti. We will never know. But the pressure is immense when you ask these questions. And his answer, I agree with Vincent, was spot on, which shows to you that Bove is one hell of an intelligent lad. Because any other player would have not answered the same way Bove did. But let's get into this. First question that De Rossi got asked is, what kind of game will it be tomorrow? Does managing the lead worry you? I think this is a great question. I think this is a great question because I'm also very curious to see what tomorrow's game is going to turn out to be. I'm very curious to see what every game is going to turn out to be. But tomorrow's game, I am very curious to see how Brighton perform. Because losing the first leg 4-0 is not something that happens every time. So I expect a team which not only is forced to attack and score goals for their own sake, but I expect a team who is mentally going to prepare a revenge. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Let's not forget that they're a Premier League side. And Premier League sides at home are tough sides to beat on English soil. They not only are tough sides to beat, but they're also sides where we have a bad record against. The last time we got a good result in England, I can't remember when it was. We drew against Leicester in the Conference League season. We lost 6-1 against Man United with Fonseca. And to be honest with you, that Man United wasn't an amazing Man United side. It was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Man United. So, yeah, in English soil, we do not have a good record whatsoever at all. We have a terrible record. And I'm very curious to see how the DNA of this team performs in a tough ground, because the Amex Stadium is the opposite of an easy ground. But this is what De Rossi says. Management for a footballer is bread and butter. Managing moments, results is all we need to do. We will be very wrong if we give the word management a negative meaning in any game, but in this case, in tomorrow's game. It doesn't mean that being ahead by 4 goals and closing yourself in your own box for the hope that the opponents don't make 4 goals. That is not what management means. Managing means recognizing the phases of the match, recognizing the opponent's conditions, and if there was a match in which we did this, it was the first leg. In the second half, Brighton had a higher intensity, higher possession, but we were good at controlling this, which is also something that happens in Premier League football. We were good at hitting them on the counter-attack and hurting them. This comes after a process of growth and knowledge between me and the team and between the players themselves. Management is key. Managing tomorrow's game is what we mentioned yesterday. The key to tomorrow's game is going to be managing. Tomorrow we don't need to win. Tomorrow we can win, and it would be great if we can win. But tomorrow we don't need to win. Tomorrow we can draw, and life is going to be great. So tomorrow, just like I said yesterday, we won't feel the urgency to score and win. Because what we need to do tomorrow is managing the game. Number 1, avoiding conceding an early goal. And this is what De Rossi is going to mention later on, which we're going to talk about. Conceding an early goal tomorrow is going to be criminal, because we're gonna feel the pressure if we concede an early goal. So what we need to avoid tomorrow is not only conceding an early goal, but we need to understand Brighton. We did this very well in the first leg. And why De Rossi is repeating this again is because he's worried that the players, the fact that they're leading 4-0, are going to go like, well, I don't need to play with the same intensity as I did last week. Which might be right, but at the same time, it's also very wrong. Because if you don't understand the game, if you don't play with half the intensity you did last week, tomorrow you risk. And if tomorrow you risk, tomorrow you're going to feel the pressure. And if you feel the pressure tomorrow, you're going to make silly mistakes, which is going to cost them goals. Brighton had chances in the first leg. The fact that we won 4-0 is a bit of a bluff, because of course, we deserved to win, but they also deserved to score. And if there's one thing that we need to do tomorrow, in general, is avoid conceding. More specific, avoiding conceding 5 goals. But in general, it's better not to concede. How are Lukaku and Dybala? Will their absence tomorrow be a message to the team that the work is already finished. So yeah, a little update. Dybala has flown with the team. Dybala is available. His minor injury against Fiorentina was only precaution. He asked De Rossi to get subbed off, but yeah, it's nothing major. He's available. He trained with the team. Again, do I expect him on the pitch? To be honest with you, I don't. But the fact that Lukaku is unavailable for this game might mean that he is going to get a bit more minutes just to avoid risks. Lukaku hasn't travelled with the team. He is out for this game, not because of a major injury, because of a hip problem that has been persisting in him for the past years. And once in a while, it comes back hurting. So precaution rest for Lukaku it will not be available for tomorrow's game. Hasn't travelled to England with the team. And I think we're keeping him for Sunday's game against Sassuolo. So Azmoun to start in tomorrow's game. We're only halfway there. Dybala is fine. Lukaku has these hip problems that he's been carrying around for months, maybe years, and that every now and then it comes back to him. When it happens, he just needs to manage it with a little rest. Don't ask me how much he'll be out for because I don't know, but I don't think it's nothing major. A little rest that didn't allow him to be here. The last 2 days, he told me that he couldn't make it. Whatever team we field requires a bit of pride on us. Even more so because there are no players who play more often. I'm going to play a great match. I show that whether they are there or not, we don't care, nothing changes. It would be the greatest joy to start changing this concept. That without Dybala and Lukaku, you can't play football. This is massive. Can we just highlight this? Can we just highlight this? I didn't realize when I was preparing this spreadsheet full of quotes, but this is another massive example of changing the communication system. It would be the greatest joy to start changing this concept that without Dybala and Lukaku, you can't play football. This is, I mean, I'm gonna be, you're gonna get tired of me repeating the same things, and bless you if you will. But this is, you know, when I say we've gone from North Pole to South Pole in the space of 50 days, I mean it. On every single front, we've gone from two extremes. You could have paid 1 billion euros to Mourinho. He would have never said this phrase. It would be the greatest joy to start changing this concept that without Dybala and Lukaku, you can't play football. He would never have said this. This is, again, giving value and confidence to your own players. I think that they are very strong. I think that they have very strong players in the squad, and I'm sure that we can go and we can play even without them. Even if Paulo doesn't play, I still need to decide if Paulo needs to play. So yeah, Lukaku, Dybala missing. The big emphasis here is on this don't worry, because we can play football even without Dybala and Lukaku, which is something that a lot of these players were not being told by Mourinho a few months ago. Because a lot of these players a few months ago were told that only Dybala and Lukaku in this team can grind results. The rest, in crude terms, are shit. Effectively, what has been told to them in the past months, not literally, but foreshadowing, is that they are shit. And that, of course, is not what a player wants to hear, because you're going to lack the confidence in him. This is another example of this. So yeah. You have been on the pitch, inside the pitch in games, during sensational comebacks with Roma, but also sensational defeats. What lesson can be learned for you to bring in the mentality of these players? In every match, everyone risks conceding too many goals from those they imagined. We don't have to go too far to scare us, but the first leg is enough. We had an exceptional first half, deserving to take the lead, and then they also hit a post deflected by Ndika. Tomorrow, a goal after 6 minutes could change the game, and we have to be very careful. If you concede a goal tomorrow, you have to play like a real team. It won't be a drama, but you have to be aware that in the first leg, Brighton had 4, 5, 6 scoring chances. They are a team that usually score. I've said this in yesterday's preview. I expect Brighton to score tomorrow. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet tomorrow. Not because I don't trust the players, but because I think Brighton will need to find a goal. The important thing here is not conceding an early goal, because it is going to be a killer. It's going to kill us. Early goal is going to kill us tomorrow. Early goals tomorrow means suffering, means stabbing yourself in the back. And we don't want that, because let's not forget that on Sunday we also have a vital game where we will need to start our most important players, or otherwise we won't win, because it's another risky game. And it's very useful for top 5. For top 5 if we do get that 5th spot, but for top 4. Again, it's a period of time full of games. So the way also to think about the future and future games, to avoid knackering these players out, tomorrow you gotta keep calm. Because if we get to the 60th minute, the score is still 0-0, or that the score is 1-0 to Brighton, we can allow some substitutions. If we concede a goal after 6 minutes and a second goal in the first half, then we are forced to start and consume the energies of the big players. And then on Sunday, just like last Sunday against Fiorentina, they're going to be knackered. So this game is also a game where if we're smart on Sunday, it's going to mean we get 3 points. This is kind of a little appetizer to Sunday's game, just like the Brighton game was before the Fiorentina game. If we do our job well tomorrow, we're going to give ourselves a massive advantage on Sunday. And then the last question. When Brighton win, they also do so with wide scores, scoring many goals. What do you need to improve in defence, and what Brighton are you expecting tomorrow? I don't know. They have many players ahead with similar characteristics to us, but also a lot of different characteristics from us. I expected Zerbi to be the Zerbi, to surprise us. He always has from the point of view of choices. I think that if you look at the results from some time ago, you must also say that they lost 2-3 important players because of injuries. The team I saw in Rome is competitive and that they can score many goals. We prepare and we play to score goals against them and not concede any. That is ultimately going to be your goal tomorrow. Even if we won 4-0 in the first leg, tomorrow's goal is going to be scoring goals and not conceding, because we want to win tomorrow's game. I don't know how much they will change. Roberto is a brilliant coach. It's surprising, but I don't expect him to completely change his formation and attitude. He sees football and always prepares matches to attack. Brighton are going to attack. Brighton are going to press. Instead of me repeating, you know what we need to do. Keep calm and don't make silly mistakes. That is it. That's what we need to do. Right, let's read some comments. Hello, Vincent. Oxy Content. Hope Baldanzi turns up tomorrow. When is the new channel opening? Says La Jolla. You mean the new podcast? The new podcast is still going to be on Roma Theory. It's just going to be named Italian Theory. It's going to be a weekly podcast about Italian football, about, top 4 fight league, Italian teams, Champions League, relegation scrap. It's going to be IFTV, we're coming for you. IFTV, we're coming for you. IFTV, we're coming for you. The jokes aside, respect to them. It's going to be an Italian football podcast. It's going to be a weekly podcast. It's going to be on this channel. The first episode is going to go out on Monday/Tuesday/Wednesday. It's going to be me and Josh. If you remember Josh, he was my stadium buddy a few years ago. He's now in England for university, but he's a great podcast speaker. So it's going to be a podcast. I thought I'd bring this because, yes, this is a Roma fan channel, but I would also on a weekly basis, one content a week, speak about other teams and bring some, chats about Italian football. But don't worry, it's going to be on this channel. It's going to be in English, and the first episode is going to come up next week. The mic quality is indeed amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vincent. He got YouTube money now. Don't worry. Jules Calls, welcome to the stream. I can tell the difference, says Ibrahim. Ibrahim the GOAT. I remember you, Ibrahim. I don't forget you. Non dobbiamo abbassare la guardia, gli inglesi sono sempre pericolose. Forza e onore, assolutamente sì. Is Ndika Muslim? Yes, he is. It doesn't sound like the Lukaku situation is that serious. He wasn't going to play anyways. I agree. The Lukaku situation does not seem that serious. We already said that. I feel like we'll perform well tomorrow. I know it's Roma DNA to make it as hard as possible, even if we win, but I don't know that's how I feel. Love the positivity. Thank you very much. Ndika is indeed a Muslim, confirms E-Boy. Tomorrow's game is about defending. I expect a 1-0 or 2-1 loss, and I would be happy with that. So yeah, bring it on. Live watch along tomorrow at 9 p.m. Italian time, 8 p.m. UK time, and wherever you're from, figure it out and come back here on Roma Theory to enjoy tomorrow's game all together and hopefully make our way, paving our way into the draw on Friday, where I've said this, we're going to get Liverpool, but prove me wrong, hopefully. Yeah. I'm going to catch you tomorrow. I'm going to leave you to the Champions League. Hopefully Inter do knock Atletico Madrid out and PSV knock Dortmund out to help us with the UEFA ranking and consolidate that fifth spot. As I said at the start, hit the like. Let's get 100 likes is the goal today. 100 likes for Eric, who helps with all the graphics and stuff, for the new audio, for this new microphone, and for the team and the community that we are building. So 100 likes would be perfect. Hit the like, subscribe, follow Roma Theory TV on Instagram, and love you all. Talk to you soon tomorrow. Up the Inter tonight, and up the Roma tomorrow. Bye-bye. Simo out.